Welcome everybody. I'm here to talk about the Excadrill buffs and changes in this. But quickly, as a little disclaimer, if you are new here and you just happen to be clicking on this video, what's good? Welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, I appreciate you coming back. Make sure you drop a like. Also, make sure if you listened to all my other videos, you definitely should be subscribed to the channel at this point. But yeah, a quick little disclaimer to check out the description below because I detail all of the buffs and changes in the hack in the Google Sheet that is linked below. And most importantly, you can see here on the Google Sheet, there is a link that says search all moves here. On the bottom is a tab, and you can check out all of the vast move buffs and changes in this hack. There are a lot of them, and they are very important, so definitely give those a look. But with that being said, we've got Excadrill, and he's got some awesome new tools to work with. He retains Sand Rush, very fitting ability. Obviously, there's no way I was going to remove that. His speed tier is a lot better, so with 0 speed investment, even if you had a shitty nature and shitty IVs, you'll still outspeed everything on the hack of 98 base speed. You don't have to worry about Scarfers or anything in game because Choice Scarf is a shitty item to give to AI. They don't know how to abuse it properly. So in general, you don't have to worry about it. So you can really take advantage of that Sand Rush, and you can set up if you want, or you can honestly just attack things and switch out. You have U-turn or a parting shot to switch out now, which is really nice as well. But the main offensive star of the show ability that you have here is Ruthless. Ruthless essentially functions like Sniper. So however, the difference here is that not only does that fit way more Pokemon as a name, Ruthless, but tons of new moves are either guaranteed crit or 50% crit. So for example, the moves Laceration and Drill Run are 70 base power stab moves. Those have a 50% crit rate. So when you slap all the Sculpins on your Excadrill, you will always crit. So those moves go from 70 to 158 base power with Ruthless, and that's extremely powerful. Obviously, that's really strong. And then you of course have coverage with X Scissor, Shadow Claw, and Jagged Edge. Those 3 moves are also the same as Drill Run and Laceration. Those 5 moves create a very nice little core. And then you have TMs and other moves that always crit. So First Impression, Skull Bash, and Finishing Blow, as well as Wicked Blow and Stone Edge, all will always crit. And that's incredibly useful. So Skull Bash is actually learned on Evolution, and that's an awesome move. If you are familiar with my other videos or you've checked out the move changes before, you might be confused because Skull Bash didn't used to crit. Skull Bash, I did buff it so that it gives you a coil boost. So essentially you get a defense boost on that first turn, and on the second turn, or if you use Power Herb after you attack, you get +1 attack and accuracy as well. And the move can't miss. So all the new Hustle Pokemon, for example, love that because not only do they get accuracy, but they also, don't miss that first use. In Excadrill's case, though, he has Ruthless. There's tons of other Ruthless Pokemon as well, like Nidoking, Aggron, Pinsir. Off the top of my head, I know all those guys get Skull Bash in this hack, and that's incredibly powerful. So that is 90 base power, and that will always crit. So it's effectively 135 base power. So it's actually 5 base power stronger than it was before. And of course, with Ruthless, that goes to over 200 base power, and you get a +1 attack, accuracy, and defense boost. Speaking of defense, you do have a lot better defense now. I did drop their HP because HP is based a lot more on size in this hack, and Excadrill is actually pretty tiny. 80 base HP is really relatively generous. She is a bit fat, and it's a little bit soulful for another good HP stat because 80 base HP is good. That's above average for sure, or at least average at worst. I'd say 70 to 75 is like average HP. 80 is like slightly above, but 80 is a good HP stat. 80 because HP isn't calculated the same way as other stats are, so 80 HP is very solid. And then your Spadef does suffer as a result, but logically, I mean, not only is he incredibly powerful with 135 attack and 98 speed and all of these incredibly powerful moves, like for example, First Impression is great priority with Ruthless because that essentially gives him stab on First Impression. So that's a really nice move. You can use First Impression plus Parting Shot or U-turn, and just pivot in, switch in, kill something, and then switch out. That's really fun. You can also use Buffed Quick Claw and all that other fun stuff. But overall, you're mostly taking advantage of the what am I trying to say here? The physical defense boost. So they are physically much bulkier. Logically looking at them, they should be physically tanky. I mean, they're covered in this metal drill thing, and they're like a tanky ground type guy. You should be physically bulky, not just HP. For some reason, the defense was lower than special defense. It makes no sense to me. So yeah, physically he's much bulkier, but especially he is much less bulky. You can always slap on an Assault Vest if you really need it. You can run AV with like max HP if you don't need speed, because 98 speed, while it is very good, is not that good in this hack. You have priority with First Impression and Accelerock, and you can run Choice Scarf. You can boost your speed with Rock Polish, Agility, Rapid Spin. You all types of ways to boost your speed. And of course, Choice Scarf is a great item for certain boss fights, but overall, that 98 base speed tier is a little bit like, okay, I might want to run bulky sets a lot because you can't outspeed the thing you need to outspeed anyway, so you may as well go for that. And it also is another reason to use Sand Rush. Of course, Sand Rush, we all know what that does. That's great. Keep in mind in this ROM hack, all Pokemon are designed to have 2 viable abilities that you switch between with ability capsules infinitely. So you can essentially trigger from Ruthless's power to Sand Rush's speed, and you can easily switch between those 2, and that's really nice. Sand Rush also appreciates the buffed Weather Rocks. Those will give you 6 turns instead of 3, so you can use Sandstorm plus Parting Shot on your ally, and then switch into Excadrill, and now you have 9 full turns of Sand to abuse, so that's really fun. You can also use Z Sandstorm if you wanted to, give you +2 defense, and that also bypasses Taunt, so you can like taunt versus a Taunt lead, you could Z Sandstorm and get defense and speed, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, Skull Bash is awesome with Ruthless. I already covered the 50% crit moves, and then you get Finishing Blow, which is roughly 80 base power with Ruthless boost, and that will give you +3 attack if you knock something out, so that's really nice. And it also works great with Sand Rush because you can be really fast and you can Finishing Blow something and get that attack boost. Power Trip also works nicely with all of these boosting options. Power Trip also gives you +1 attack each time you click it. However, you have to keep in mind it only has 3 PP. Otherwise, you've got Wicked Blow and Stone Edge, which are just non-stab, very strong 180 base power Ruthless moves. Those will always crit. Those are 180 base power when you consider Ruthless, and that's really nice. And then, yeah, I already covered First Impression. So that's about it for Ruthless. It's just a great ability. For Excadrill, it fits very well, obviously. I mean, look at the guy, and also like the whole drill and slashing and all his moves. It fits very well to have Ruthless. So yeah, that's really about it. Very simple buffs. Drillbear has Mold Breaker, which is pretty solid for early game. A lot more Pokemon have Levitate, a lot more Pokemon have Sturdy, and all these other abilities you're going to want to bypass. So that's pretty nice for the early game to bypass a lot of these abilities. Mold Breaker is not bad at all by any means on Excadrill, but obviously you would rather have that Ruthless power boost, of course. 135 base attack with the 50% boost is absolutely astronomical. It's very strong. So yeah, that's really about it. Awesome buffs and changes. Also, Sediment is pretty cool. That's ground type recover, so that'll heal you by 2/3 in the sand. So you can use that with Sand Rush, and you can use that on bulkier sets and stuff. So yeah, that's really about it. You got a bunch of other powerful stab moves as well, like Headlong Rush and Submission and Head Smash, and great coverage like Play Rough, Rock Climb, Takedown, all these bug moves and rock moves, and it's great. It's got everything it would ever want. Smart Strike could be pretty cool. It gives you +1 accuracy. So Smart Strike or Skull Bash, you could use those in conjunction with something like Wicked Blow, Stone Edge, Precipice Blades, all these inaccurate moves. So that's pretty cool. Mega Horn, etc. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you found these buffs interesting. Hopefully you liked this type of video. If you did, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to plug it again because I am trying to hit 1K pretty soon. We're really close, so I do appreciate that. Yep, that's really about it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back for more Unova Pokemon.